Hello! Good morning, everyone. How are you? We hope that you will have a wonderful day. Okay, so today we will present the persuasive message. Basically, this material will explain the invitation to make someone who initially doesn't pay attention, isn't interested, or doesn't want what we offer to be able to change that person's opinion or perspective. This material will present by Nadira Aulia, Nadia Vida, Rico Adi, Salma Sofi, and me, Raisya Devi. So let's start. Nowadays, there are many messages of persuasion in our environment. Advertising on television push us to buy their products. The traffic police will remind the driver to control their vehicle speed. Or maybe a friend asks for help. Our response to the message will be different. In the business world, there are many activities that use patterns of persuasion. For example, first, to achieve certain goals. Second, sell idea to superiors. Third, invite friends to work together. Fourth, sell products. And five, when someone will apply for a job. Conveying messages of persuasion will work if you pay attention to several factors. There are notice to the factors of who the sender and the recipient of the message. Second, the message itself. Third, the media used. And fourth, the environment in which the message of persuasion is delivered.
Next, I will explain about the definition of persuasion. So, persuasion aims to persuade, which means to attract, seduce, appeal, or delight, convincing others to change their point of view, agree to a commitment, purchase a product or service, or take a course of action. Where these activities are intended to stimulate someone to do something spontaneously, happily, voluntarily, without being forced. Then, message of persuasion has the purpose of influencing others who tend to maintain their ideas or arguments. So the persuasion message are generally longer, more detailed, and depend on very tight strategic plan. The message of persuasion is useful to motivate audience and readers. Next is the difference between persuading, begging, and forcing. So there are types of persuasion. Of the three types can be distinguished through the way or method they use, choices, position, and receiver's character. The first is persuading. The way or method persuading use is normal, and then persuading have many choices they can use. Maybe just like you agree or not disagree, or else. And the position is the sender and the receiver have the same position, so there's no one to be a dominate. And the receiver's card is voluntarily. Then begging. The way or method begging use is calm. Then the choices is begging have many or specific choices. And for the position, the receiver is more dominant than the sender. And the receiver's character is one and because of pity. And the last is forcing. The way our method forcing use is rude, and then sometimes it's kind of impolite, and then forcing have a limited choices, and the position is sender more dominant than the receiver, and the receiver's character is forced. So from that three kind of persuasion, uh, we can know that the forcing is uh, the wrong way to persuade someone. So we can't use that method.
Next is factors in delivering the message of persuasion. Sender. Sender is the person starting the conversation knows in their mind what they intend the message to be. By knowing the audience, the person can deliver the message in a format the receiver will know best. The factor is 1. Knowledge of audience, 2. Knowledge of meta, 3. Communication skills like speaking, listening, writing, and reading, 4. Mentality or emotional, 5. Appearance according to etiquette, 6. Example like real experience of senders, 7. Confidence, 8. Background like social, economic, cultural, age, 9. Receiver charisma, for example by community leaders and statesmen. Receiver. The receiver of a message can be one person or a group. They should pay careful attention to the message, listen and watch the sender body's language. The factor is 1. The background may be lower than the sender. 2. Pay attention to the right time to deliver the message. 3. Order according to receiver's requirement. 4. Root habits are often difficult to persuade. Channel. The channel involves the location, method, timing, and relationship. The factor is 1. Direct, face-to-face, complicated, or complex. 2. Indirect is using media like print media and electron media. Message. The message is made from the channel like text, phone, and email, and nonverbal communication. The factor is 1. Use language that can be understood by the receiver. 2. It can use various forms of message organization.
Okay guys, in next material, I will explain about planning in preparing the message of persuasion. Planning that we have to do in preparing the message of persuasion are first is audience analysis. The good message of persuasion must be oriented towards the audience by connecting the message you want to deliver with interest needs. The analysis was carried out by asking the question, who is the audience, what do they have to do, and what are their needs? The second is consideration of cultural difference. Understanding existing cultural difference will help satisfy the audience and how they view us. In America, it emphasizes technical and practical aspects in product promotion, but in French, aggressive techniques are not liked. Next, the third is choosing an organizational approach. Can be done with an indirect approach if the audience reacts unfavorably. Direct approach if the audience prefers to listen to the message immediately. And the last is choose the allure. Most persuasive message use a combination of logic and emotional allure while still considering ethical aspect. There are four kinds of allure. The first is emotional allure. Emotional allure is the message of persuasion by using a language approach, argumentation, or attitude that can cause sympathy from the audience or emotional influence. For example, related to value, appreciation, and comfort. The second is logic allure. The definition of logic allure is message using evidence and logical facts. Can use reasons. First is analogy. Analogy is the use of reasons from specific evidence to specific evidence as well. Explanation by giving a parable about an event with almost the same event, supposed to explain the temperature at the North Pole with the temperature in the refrigerator. The second is induction. The definition of induction is the provision of reasons from specific evidence to general conclusion. To convince potential customer that the product is the best, communicator may report market test results that show that people prefer the product. Therefore, if some individuals like it, then the other people will also like the product. And the last is deduction. Deduction is the provision of reasons from the general to specific conclusion. For example, to do persuasion to the leaders in recruiting new employee, communicators can explain industry projection that can improve product in the next 4 months, which suggests that communicators need several new employees. The third kind of allure is ethical consideration. Ethical consideration is information conveyed to give a message to the audience and doesn't contain message that violate the rules or laws. And the fourth of kind, the allure is using good language. Use easy language to understand, clearly simple and in accordance with the rules of the language. Good language content and audience.
Next, I'll explain about development method of message of persuasion. First is formula of AIDA: attention, interest, desire, action. There is two formula we got here. First is step formula. It contains about attention step, need step, and action step. Second is AIDA's formula. It contains about first is attention, is preliminary care about audience problem. Second, interest. It provides information on the benefits of composition, work methods, and excellence. Third is desire, is how to demonstrate, show the evidence or facts through testimony. The fourth is action, is make a summary, take action, and follow up to find out the development. Second is 4P, or we can call it promise, picture, proof, and push. Promise is delivering message in the form of promises to attract attention. Second is picture, is provide relevant descriptions or explanations. Details offered function to be more convincing of what has been promised. Third is proof, proof both written and oral. Fourth is push, encourage the audience to follow persuasion, do something. Third, satisfying the satisfying pattern. First is satisfying, emphasizing the audience or reminding about something the audience is doing right now is bad or wrong or harmful. Example sentence: I know your problem, therefore I try to bring the solution. Second is satisfying, express about the advantage of the message or product offered. Third is dramatize. Is dramatize something emotionally and logically so that the audience start to be touched with evidence. The fourth is moving. Moving the audience to do something.
Finally, we are in the final session of the presentation today. Thank you guys for coming and joining our presentation. We hope all of you get the benefit from our presentation. Just keep spirit and be happy. Goodbye and love you all.